Okay guys, hello, welcome back. We are back with another Primarch. Fulgrim, if I remember correctly, he's the second Legion guy. Maybe third, I don't know. I don't remember, one of them is missing. So yeah, we're gonna continue on our Primarch journey. We took a little bit, we fiddled a little bit with fantasy. It was interesting. We might do them in the future, but for now, Primarchs. And if you're wondering what I am doing in my free time, here's a little clip. So guys, tell me, what do you think about this? So tell me. So he hits me, yeah? So I'm going to shock, putting up the pallet. He vaults, I run. He vaults back, I run. I would vault through the window. Look, how is that fair? How is that fair hit? Anyway, let's get started.
A warrior is measured by the quality of the foes he defeats. For years we have blunted our blades against lesser species and backwards primitives. But now this war, this glorious cataclysm, it presents us a chance to display for all eternity our perfection in the arena of war against the most formidable foe we shall ever face, our brother legionaries.
Listen guys, I wanted to ask, is Remembrancer like voicing the Primarchs, or these are from some audiobooks? Like, is it actual Primarch voice or it's like fan made?
And for this, we humbly thank him, our dear father, whose name we carry.
I really think it fits the Fulgrim.
The Primarchs of his Imperium were each crafted to exemplify the Emperor's, and by extension, humanity's greatest virtues and traits. Statesmen, generals, and orators, these individuals would unite the disparate fragments of humanity by using their unique godlike power. Yet many of the Primarchs would fall from grace, with few more unfortunate than that of one of the most promising of his children, the Primarch of the 3rd Legion, Fulgrim. With the scattering of the Primarchs prior to the dawn of the Great Crusade, the gestation pod of the Primarch of the 3rd Legion would land on the mining world of Kimos.
Oh.
A bleak and pitiless world surrounded by a nebula of thick dust and soot. Kimos would be a harsh taskmaster of its people. Settled during the dark age of technology, the planet would be isolated by warp storms from the wider civilizations across the stars.
When he said that, does that mean that the Slanesh was birthed, or it means completely some different cosmic event?
Illuminated in perpetual twilight, Kimos' citizenry would labor day and night without pause to create enough resources for their survival.
Wait, no, I think I actually got Timon confused, because I think the rift opened already when the Space Marines were a thing. That means Fulgrim was already found. I guess that is something else.
Thick with harmful vapors, the fortress factories of the world would demand ceaseless toil from its people, should they all wish to prevent a global starvation. With trade almost impossible between neighboring planets, the Kimosians would accept their dour fate of doomed rationing and endless hard labor. Yet with
Yes, I think I remember Bricky said something like there are worlds that go good at growing food, and there are worlds that are good at mining, so clearly these guys have a food
the
problem?
arrival of the Primarch to the planet, a renewal of its fortunes would commence. Discovering the beautiful child, the policing force known as the Caretakers would beg Kimos' leaders of Kalex, the executives, to spare the child's life. Orphans of Kimos were routinely culled to prevent further strain on the planet's dwindling resources. Yet fortunately for the young Primarch, the executives would allow a member of the Caretakers to raise the child. Naming the boy Fulgrim after the Kimosian legend, it would not be long before the young Primarch would be tasked to labor within the mines of his new homeworld.
Also, he
Maturing
worked in
quickly,
mines.
Fulgrim would be sent to work within the labor mines of the planet. Quickly understanding the faltering and obsolete equipment of the factory, Fulgrim would modify and improve upon their designs. Dramatically increase...
You know, they're like those Imperial Fists and those Iron Warriors. I think I would expect their Primarch, to be able to work on equipment, not necessarily Fulgrim, because again, I am associating him with Slaanesh, so I keep forgetting that Primarchs by themselves are like super smart.
The machine's yield, it would not
because I know he is a part of Slaanesh in the future. I kind of don't really, don't think like he can stand on his own.
Long for the executives of the factory to take notice of the genius child diligently improving the lot of his people. For 15 years, Fulgrim would tinker with the machinery and be promoted to the rank of an executive of the fortress factory of Kallax.
Wow.
Observing the plight of the factory workers in a new light, Fulgrim would train and organize engineers to travel with him to each neighboring factory. Under his guidance, the engineers would repair and improve the factory's machinery. Salvaging long-dormant artifacts from the Age of Strife, the mining production of the planet would exponentially improve. Allowing for free time to construct new machines to further improve efficiency to the factories, Fulgrim would overhaul the entire planet's infrastructure and living standards.
Bruh, isn't it crazy? One guy appears and he changes everything. He like fixes everything. To me, it's insane how we're starting off so good. I actually wonder, how did the guy so great fell into the hands of chaos?
Creating surpluses and reducing pollution, Kimos' trade routes would begin to burgeon, and within a few years, Fulgrim had ascended to become the ruler of the planet. The only Primarch to rule his homeworld with peaceful means, Fulgrim would prove to be a compassionate, kind, and dependable boon to the people of Kimos. Yet with the arrival of the Emperor of Mankind to the planet, Fulgrim would resign his mantle of rulership. Falling to his knees once in audience of the Master of Mankind, Fulgrim would pledge himself and his homeworld in service to the Imperium. Swearing to serve the needs of his Imperium with all his heart, Fulgrim would accompany his father to Holy Terror. Learning of the slow decline of the 3rd Legion in his absence, Fulgrim would address his remaining 200 Astartes. So inspiring was his speech, the Emperor would give the title of Emperor's Children to the 3rd Legion.
That's how they got their title?
And gift them the right to bear his own Imperial Aquila on their armor.
No freaking way. So Emperor allowed them to use Emperor's... Damn.
Wearing the double-headed eagle with pride, the Emperor's children, under the command of Fulgrim, would venture forth to prove their worth in the eyes of the Imperium. Burdened with the responsibility to prove themselves worthy of the Emperor's favor, Fulgrim and his legion would strive to become paragons of humanity.
Also, a little bit off topic. So, these guys are clearly have like this magenta like color. So I remember Bricky joked, would orcs be able to see them or not?
Seeking perfection in not only battle, but also culture, the Emperor's children would champion artistry and aesthetic splendor in their dealings as a legion. Embodying the traits of beauty, poise, and elegance, Fulgrim would demand a high standard of regal bearing within his legion. Strengthening their resolve and bolstering their dwindling numbers, the Emperor's children would serve as aristocratic negotiators and public embodiments of the Imperium's will. Mentored closely by the Primarch of the Lunar Wolves, Horus Lupercal, the Emperor's foremost senior general would teach Fulgrim and his slowly rebuilding legion on the arts of war.
Also, Horus helped him.
With his teachings complete, and the 3rd Legion now at fighting strength, Fulgrim would anxiously embark to bring glory to his Emperor's children. Forming an unlikely, yet cherished friendship with the Primarch of the 10th Legion, Ferrus Manus, during the Great Crusade.
Ferrus Manus is hands, something with hands. Iron hands, I think.
The Emperor's most starkly contrasting brothers would work together on many campaigns to bring compliance to the galaxy. Both masters of craftsmanship, alchemy, and scientific genius, the Primarchs would further strengthen their bond with a contest of skill. Crafting weapons fit for a god of war, the Phoenician and his affectionately named Gorgon would create weapons of legendary splendor. Ferrus Manus would craft the sword known as Fireblade, wreathed in flame, alike to the Emperor's own personal weapon, whilst Fulgrim...
Oh, he made the weapon that... yeah, I seen like this... I might try to put it on the screen where the Emperor holds this sword, so I guess Fulgrim was so inspired by it, he made his own version. That's
construct
cool.
Forgebreaker, a warhammer capable of sundering mountains in hands strong enough.
How cool does that sound? Imagine you have I guess a hammer, Forgebreaker.
To wield it. Deferring each other as the winner of the contest. As a sign of respect, the two Primarchs would gift one another
they declared
their
each other a
mastercrafted
winner.
weapons. Carrying them into battle, legends would be sung of the two like-minded brothers charging into battle with their weapons aloft and legions at their vanguard. Yet unfortunately, such a bond would be tested and fractured with the betrayal of the Imperium by the Primarch of the 16th Legion, Horus Lupercal. As the War Master of the Imperium began his slow descent into the thrall of chaos, Fulgrim would begin his own corrupting pilgrimage. Leading the 28th Expeditionary Fleet during the conquest of the Laren species, Fulgrim would begin to be enticed by the influence of the ruinous powers.
Oh, so this is where he started to be corrupted, and what the fuck did I pause on?
Known to the Imperium as the planet 28-3, the Lair Xenos would guard the resource-rich planet from Imperial advances. Dispatching his Astartes, Fulgrim would descend upon the planet and begin the slow month-long extermination of the serpentine Laren Xenos. Discovering a strange temple within the coral nexus of the ocean planet, Fulgrim would investigate the structure. Unknowingly, stepping into a temple devoted to the chaos entity known as Slanesh,
Okay.
Fulgrim would find within the heart of the temple a peculiar artifact.
Fulgrim, you don't need this sword, you got your own.
The demon blade, known as the Blade of the Lair, would call to Fulgrim. Whispering subtle treacheries into Fulgrim's very soul, the Primarch of the Emperor's children would claim the blade as his own.
But why?
Relegating Fireblade,
Oh, now he has two blades though. Wait a minute.
his most prized symbol of his most cherished brother, and favoring the Lair blade in battle, the influence of the greater demon within the sword would grow exponentially. Wrongly interpreting the intrusive thoughts of the demon as his own subconscious, Fulgrim's descent into madness would be assured. With Horus Lupercal's corruption by the ruinous powers complete, the War Master of Chaos would call to his likewise damned brother to join his betrayal of the Imperium. Heeding the call of his brother and once mentor, Fulgrim would begin his ever-worsening descent into madness with the persecution of the Diasporex.
Okay, so, but I think maybe here, remember, sir, didn't go deeper, like it feels so simple, so, yes, I understand the demon in the sword corrupted his mind, but Horus, okay, when we'll get to Horus, maybe there's I want to know how Horus got corrupted, but it seems crazy. So Horus got corrupted. He asked Fulgrim like, "Yo, bro, let's go fuck shit up," and Fulgrim was like, "Yeah, okay." Like, really, it was that simple. This guy who saved the planet, like, was perfect in all ways. It was that simple to sway him.
The Iron Hands, led by their Primarch Ferrus Manus, would be tasked with achieving compliance with the human elements of the Xenos-Human coalition, known as the Diasporex. With the Diasporex declining the invitation to join the Imperium, the Iron Tenth...
Wait, they offered the Xeno race to coexist with Imperium?
...would begin their purge of the civilization.
I always thought like Imperium kills like everything, but...
Competent in naval warfare, the Diasporex would prove a difficult foe to destroy. Calling to his most stalwart allies, Ferrus would petition aid from Fulgrim and the 3rd Legion to add their blades to the fight. Together, the Iron Hands and Emperor's children would crush the Diasporex, but not without Fulgrim's ego being damaged due to his own reckless actions.
How?
The malevolent influence of the Lair blade would feed Fulgrim's resentment of his brother's selfless and heroic actions to aid his forces. With the diasporics slain, Fulgrim would travel to the ancient Eldar craftworld of Ulfwe and be confronted by the Asavani Farseer, Eldrad Ulfrain.
Okay.
Warning Fulgrim of the War Master's impending betrayal, Fulgrim would...
Elder knew about the betrayal and they tried to tell Fulgrim about it, but if they knew about Horus, why didn't they knew Fulgrim was already like part of his cult?
Influence of the Lairblade unleash his outrage at the Eldar's accusations of his cherished brother. With the aid of his Phoenix Guard, Fulgrim would slaughter Eldrad's Eldar retinue and cause the Farseer to retreat. Ordering his fleet to virus bomb several Eldari worlds, Fulgrim's rage would not be sated. Seeking answers from Horus in person, Fulgrim would, despite his objections to Eldrad's assertions, succumb to the charisma.
When he said he didn't join Horus yet. He just like presented it that way. I got it all literally wrong. At this time, the Fulgrim wasn't aware of Horus being corrupted, so the elders told Fulgrim about his brother. The Fulgrim got mad and basically nuked them because he thought the elders are lying. But in fact, he just didn't. Okay, I'm sorry.
And charm of the War Master, and joining his plot for rebellion. His respect for his second closest brother, enough to turn his back on the Emperor. Promised true perfection should he submit to the powers of chaos, Fulgrim would meet once more with his most adored brother, Ferrus Manus, in an attempt to sway the Iron Tenth to join the traitor cause.
Oh, he asked Ferrus if he wants to join.
Upon the world of Kalanides IV, the Iron Hands wrested control of the planet from the Orc menace. Meeting with Ferrus Manus, Fulgrim would naively declare his allegiance to the plot to destroy the Imperium. Enraged, the stalwart hero of humanity, Ferrus Manus would attack Fulgrim.
Oh no.
His duty to the Imperium and loyalty to the Emperor as unshakable as iron, Ferrus would destroy his once bond of kinship, Fireblade, from Fulgrim's grasp with his own hands. With the sword's destruction, Ferrus would be incapacitated, with Fulgrim taking his own craft, Forgebreaker, in his hands. Unable to slay his brother, Fulgrim would settle for slaughtering the Gorgon's Morlock honor guard. The Emperor's children would submit to the thrall of the being known as Slaanesh, and with their mutated bodies and souls, reinforce the War Master's staging ground of the Istvan system. With Horus's betrayal laid bare for all to see, the Emperor would dispatch his remaining loyal sons to bring the traitors to justice.
Okay. Isn't it crazy how, we had like this insane friendship where we each respected each other, and in the end, Ferrus Manus destroyed Fulgrim's sword and Fulgrim destroyed his battle hammer.
Spoiling for revenge, Ferrus Manus would lead the charge to Istvan V. Alongside the Salamanders and Raven Guard legions, the Loyalists would face the traitors in battle. Against the World Eaters, Death Guard, Sons of Horus, and their own most hated foe, the Emperor's children, the Iron Hands would seek to destroy the Phoenician and his ilk. Yet as the second wave of reinforcements to the battle arrived, the legion sent to purge the traitors to the throne would instead join them. The Iron Warriors, Night Lords, Word Bearers, and Alpha Legion would turn on the Loyalists and outnumber their forces with overwhelming firepower. Ferrus Manus, betrayed once more, would face his beloved brother, Fulgrim, in battle. Armed with the reforged Fireblade,
also Ferrus reforged the Fulgrim's blade, but Fulgrim, because he lost his blade, he was left with the demon blade.
Ferrus Manus would make a desperate final act to avenge his honor guard, lost friendship, and the memory of his once virtuous brother. Upon the Urgal
He still tried to be friends.
depression, Fulgrim and Ferrus would clash, yet armed with the demonically imbued demon blade, Fulgrim would cleave Ferrus's head from his body.
He killed Ferrus Manus?
With a slice of the lair blade. As if awakening from a deep slumber, Fulgrim would look upon his slain brother and grieve at his heinous actions.
Oh no.
Stricken with grief, Fulgrim would submit to the whispers of the lair blade which promised to absolve him from his sorrows.
Bro.
Free from its prison, the greater demon would possess Fulgrim's body and imprison the Phoenician's soul.
Wait, so okay, so Fulgrim is now like this demon, but is there a way to save him?
Now replaced by the demon of the Lair Blade, Fulgrim would exponentially hasten the corruption of the Emperor's children. Revealing itself to the War Master, Horus and the demon would reach an understanding that it shall remain in control of the Phoenician's body should it continue to aid the traitor war effort. Gifting the severed head of the first Primarch to fall during the heresy, Ferrus Manus, the demonically possessed Fulgrim would join the remaining 7 Primarchs of the traitor cause at the conclave above Horus's flagship, the Vengeful Spirit. Lorgar Aurelian, Primarch of the Wordbearers Legion, would observe the presence within Fulgrim and attempt to exorcise it from the Phoenician's body. Failing to dominate the being, Lorgar would weaken the demon's hold on its prey, yet withdraw from the conclave, unsuccessful in his attempt to free his brother. Upon the Emperor's Children flagship, Pride of the Emperor, the senior members of the 3rd Legion would continue efforts to exorcise their Primarch. Under the supervision of the Chief Apothecary, Fabius Bile, Captains Lucius, Julius Caesaron, and Marius Virosian would begin their ministrations. Freeing their Gene Father from the demon's clutches, Fulgrim would reveal himself to be biding his time and understanding the creature from within.
Okay.
Spurred to take the demon unawares, Fulgrim would dominate the entity and resume control of his body.
Oh, so Fulgrim managed to do a 180. Okay.
Now armed with an intimate understanding of the foul inner workings of demonology, Fulgrim would petition aid from the 4th Legion Primarch, Perturabo, to accompany him on a journey to explore his newfound understanding.
Okay.
A journey to the Crone World of Idris. Alongside the Iron Warriors, the Emperor's children would venture into the heart of the Eye of Terror. Promising the Lord of Iron a wondrous power of immense value within the Ocularis Terribus, Fulgrim would not divulge the true intention behind their voyage. Despite enduring an ambush perpetrated by the shattered Legion Astartes of the vessel Sisypheum, the Primarchs would continue their traversal to the Crone World. Upon the world of Idris, Fulgrim would discover the tomb of the so-called Angel Exterminatus within the sepulchre of Isha's doom. The distilled...
What crazy, maybe, that some of the world, where remembrance mentions, like, it's going up so fast, it's hard to follow
essence of the countless perished souls rent from the birth of She Who Firsts, the orb of jade light which shine ablaze alike to a miniature sun. Draining strength from his brother, Perturabo, Fulgrim would harvest the power of the Hollow World and the Lord of Iron to achieve his apotheosis.
His transformation?
As a demon prince of Slanesh, Fulgrim's skin would mutate into a 4-armed, serpentine creature. Departing from the planet with his Emperor's children, Fulgrim's ascension would be bought at the cost of the ever-dwindling loyalty of his brothers. Further influencing his legion to become ever more debased and mutated, Fulgrim would wage war for the remainder of the Horus heresy as a distracted, stimuli-obsessed monster. For even during the final battle of the war, the Siege of Terror, Fulgrim and his legion would busy themselves not with direction, discipline or focus, but with the torture and mutilation of the civilian populace.
Oh man.
The traitor war effort would fail, in part due to the 3rd Legion's wanton indulgences, and force Fulgrim and the Emperor's children to retreat into the Eye of Terror. Abusing and depleting their captured slaves, the Emperor's children would seek new prey to enact their perversions.
Isn't it crazy how fast they have fallen? Like, imagine, like, they enter the atmosphere of some human world and everyone see their purple, like, flagships, and the human population is like, oh, these are like most prestigious space marines, unaware of what's about to happen.
Fulgrim would lead his fragmented and wayward sons to ever more heretical pursuits of indulgences. The traitors would turn on one another, as all duplicitous betrayers unbound from honor and discipline are wont to do. With the Legion Wars incurring a heavy toll on every traitor legion, the Emperor's children would not be spared such losses. Devolving into small war bands, Fulgrim's lack of leadership or grand objective would divide his once proud legion. Though whilst the Third Legion may be divided and without direction, the Demon Primarch's influence still brings ruination to the galaxy. Confronted by the Primarch of the Ultramarines, Rabute Guilliman, during the scouring of the traitors, following their failed coup, Fulgrim would prove to be a dangerous foe.
Really?
During 121.M31, the 13th Legion would seek retribution from the Emperor's children at the Battle of Fassala. Dueling the Ultramarines Primarch in single combat, Fulgrim would prove to be a deadly opponent, and with his chaos-infused form, slice the throat of Rabute Guilliman with a poison-infused blade.
Now wait, is that still the same blade, or that's a different blade now?
Damning Guilliman to a 10,000-year stasis-fueled slumber within Macragge's Temple of Correction.
Isn't it crazy? Fulgrim basically killed 2 Primarchs.
The Phoenicians' actions would deal the Imperium a fatal blow, which would be felt for millennia. Yet with the return of the Avenging Sun during 999.M41, Rabute Guilliman's resurgent wrath demands vengeance.
Wait, Guilliman is back?
Against the Phoenician. And despite his long seclusion within the Eye of Terror, rumor persists that the chosen demon Primarch of Slaanesh once more unites his legion for war. His never-ending quest for his debased pleasures once more unleashed upon the galaxy. That which causes us trials shall yield us triumph. That which makes our hearts ache shall fill us with gladness. For the only true happiness is to learn, to advance and improve. None of this could happen without rejecting error, ignorance and imperfection. We must pass out of the darkness to reach the light. This has been a tale of the great Imperium of Man, read by the Remembrancer. Fulgrim's descent into the clutches of the ruinous powers would be swift in the eyes of the Imperium. His ego and pursuit of
It looked even swift in my
perfection,
eyes.
hastening his spiral
One
into
blade.
madness. Yet in my next transmission for Primarch, we shall elucidate the tale of another Primarch brought low by his ego and ambition. The Hammer of Olympia and Lord of Iron, Perturabo.
Okay, guys, we are gonna stop here. Obviously, thank you for remembering for uploading this video. It's crazy. It's crazy, dude. The Fulgrim video is insane. How far he has fallen. It's crazy. It's in a sense, I'm very saddened about, him. I in my head, I'm thinking there's so many ways, where he. Imagine if he didn't go to that planet fighting those Xenos and didn't pick up the blade. Just imagine how different would it turn out. It's crazy. The fact that the Emperor's children also were allowed, they were given this title, of base. It's like the biggest sign of respect from the Emperor. It's crazy. The Emperor's children, damn, they're like, they're kind of left me speechless. Not gonna lie. Yeah. Anyway, guys, friends, girls, pals, friends, yeah. Thank you for watching. Leave a like, leave a dislike, and see you in the next one. Ciao, ciao.